Hi everyone! So today on Double Bass with Bass Pixie we are going to learn how to stand on our double bass. So I had a request from Presley Jewel and a few other people, so this is for you guys. First of all, we're going to start out with the safety information and the disclaimers. Number one, don't try this at home. Obviously this is a tutorial video and a lot of you may want to try this at home, but what I'm saying to you is that this is a professional, difficult stunt to do, and you need to be considering your safety first. So I wouldn't recommend you try this just randomly at home. I would recommend that if this is your first time doing this, go get a professional instructor, somebody who is trained in either weights or acrobatics or something like that, to support you and supervise you on your first attempts to do this. It's not the easiest of stunts. You can break your double bass, you can break your bones, okay? So be super careful, be super sensible. But this tutorial is going to give you as many of the safety tips as possible, and if you do choose to try it, I'm waiving all liability. This is your own doing, okay? I've told you it's risky, it's scary, it's not necessarily safe, and if you're under 18, please, please, please make sure you check with your parents first. Number two, be safe, okay? Make sure your room is completely clear of things. If you do fall, there's nothing you can hit your head on, nothing you can fall on. You've got a nice soft floor. Number three, make sure you're supervised, that you have somebody who can catch you, who's bigger than you, who is going to be able to support you if you wobble or if you fall. Number four, make sure your bass can take your body weight. You don't want to be standing on a super expensive bass, you don't want to be standing on an old bass, and you don't want to be standing on one made of solid wood. You want to make sure you have a really good workhorse of a bass made of laminate, which is what mine is. Fully laminate and nice sturdy bass. Number five, take it step by step. Break it down, do it very slowly. Be aware of the strength of your bass. If you feel at any point it isn't the right one and it's not going to take your weight, stop. Wait. Wait till you can afford to get a new one, or try it on somebody else's who knows that it can take good, the weight that it needs to. Number six, if you are under 18, ask permission from your parents before you try anything like this. This is not something you do without supervision, and it is not something you just go ahead and do. Okay, so be safe, don't be stupid, and don't get yourself in trouble. Number eight, make sure you're fit and healthy before you attempt to do something like this. You want to make sure you have super strong core muscles and also good strong legs, you're in good fitness, good health, and your balance is really good. If you're not so sure about your core strength or your balance, what you need to do is you need to start doing an exercise routine that is aimed at building up your core strength. Yoga is absolutely brilliant for things like this. You can also do things like doing the plank, you can do sit-ups, squats are really good for getting them leg muscles built up because you're going to need them to get yourself up on the bass. Number nine, don't do this drunk. If you're going to do this, absolutely no alcohol, no drugs, no influencers. Be sober, be safe. Okay, so let's get to it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to set your bass up to be ready for you to do the standing technique. So with the spike at the bottom of the bass, we have the spike. As you can see, mine is only a very tiny way out. So to do the standing trick, on most basses, you need to have the spike entirely in or just a small way out. If you have it much longer than that, the balance point will be off and you'll tip. So you don't want to do that. So if you're a really tall person who plays with your spike out, you're going to have to find a point in your gig where you have time to pop that spike back in, secure it, make sure it's secure, and then do that. So you might want to get your guitarist doing a solo or whatever, or big it up, get your drummer doing a drum roll while you're ready, anything, show it up, whatever. But you want that spike only a little way out at the most. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the balance point. So I'm going to bring it across in front of me and I'm going to tip it down. So the balance point of the bass is the point where it is sitting just on the spike and on the edge of the bass. Now obviously if you're doing this on a concrete floor or a stage or something like that, the bass is going to get scratched, you're going to get some road wear. So again, disclaimer, if your bass gets damaged doing this stunt, this is entirely your own choice to do this, and I can take no responsibility. This is a potentially dangerous stunt to do, and it is also something that's not necessarily amazingly good for your double bass. So we're going to find that balance point. So we're there, and I should be able to hold my bass up with one hand, with no hands, just by putting pressure on the little step here. So the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do it first either in bare feet or trainers, whichever you feel comfortable in. Now obviously when I do this stunt at gigs I'm in a wiggle dress and heels, which we'll get to at the very end. But when you're learning, good pair of flexible trousers and a pair of trainers in your living room where you can't fall off and hit something, you've got a spotter and you're there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a leg up and we're just going to hold it there. I'm going to stand one leg on the bass, no hands, and we're just going to make sure we're very comfortable here. So you can rock it a little, you can see where that base point is, where the balance is. See, if I move too far forwards and lean that way, it's going to fall this way. It's not going to come backwards. Unless you really hang on it and lean backwards, it's not going to come backwards. It's also wobbly both sides. So when you step on it, you need to put your foot just slightly over to the side, not too far because it will tip over forwards. So you want your feet quite central here. If you've got quite wide feet, and your base is quite narrow, you want your main foot just towards the middle of that base. So when you're getting up, your body weight is there on the middle. And when you get up, don't put as much weight on your second foot because you still want your weight to be central. So be aware of your weight being central. So once we're comfortable with this is an exercise you can do over and over. You don't need to go right straight away. At first lesson, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to stand on my base. You want to do this bit by bit. So just practice getting here, you know? Hold the base by the neck here, one foot up, turn yourself around, get comfortable here, okay? Once you're comfortable here, I'm going to put one hand on the back of the base, one hand on the neck. I'm not going to pull on the neck. The neck is not a good thing to play around with. I'm just going to use it for balance. I'm going to push here, and I'm going to bring the other foot to join that one. Now, if you're like me and you've got smallish feet, my feet are quite wide actually, but they fit on my base. If you can get both feet comfortably on there, sit yourself down, get comfortable here. So you should be able to eventually be comfortable with no hands, just perching on your base, sitting nicely here. Okay, so the next step, once you're comfortable with that, is weirdly, but sensibly getting off. So we're going to switch hands, okay? So when we get down, hand on the front of the base, hand on the back, I'm just going to pop that foot back down, okay? This is a really wobbly bit. This is when you want to have somebody right next to you, making sure that you're not wobbling too far. So, and you don't want to wreck your base either. If it goes forward, I had a dream last night about wrecking my base. It wasn't fun. You don't want to go there, trust me. Okay, so we're just going to do exercises. Switch hands, up, switch hands, down, switch hands, up, switch hands, down. You just do a little sort of bounce in between. We're going to get back up again. So we're here. So the next step is standing. So when you want to stand, we're going to have one hand a little higher on the neck and one hand here. And all we're going to do is make sure we've got our balance, make sure we're central, find a point over there to look at so you've got a good focus point, and we're just going to lift. Okay, all the way up, or as far as you feel comfortable. Do it in bits. Up and down. Up. And back down. Okay? And then the last stage, the very last stage, if you're really, really super brave, is to put a foot up. This is a really tough one, okay? So this is where you definitely 100% need somebody to spot you until you are super, super confident. And even then, just be super careful, you know? So you're going to come up here. You're going to make sure that foot is central in the base. Keep your hand on the front. And you're going to raise that foot and just put it on. You want to be pulling on the neck a little, because that's what keeps you the balance, okay? So pull on that neck. Keep your weight on this back foot, okay? You don't want to be putting too much weight on that front foot. Okay, to come back down, hand down, foot down, squat, and then pop yourself down on the floor. Ta-da! So the last thing we're going to cover is doing it in a dress and heels. So it's not much different. The heels actually don't really make any difference at all because the heels don't touch the base. The only thing to be aware of is that most heels are quite slippery. So when you're getting on your base, you want to be a little bit careful. The second thing you want to think about is having quite a flexible dress, or getting your dresses altered so you have a slit in the back that's got some elastic on, because I've ruined a good number of dresses in the process of standing on the base. So the technique's exactly the same. So obviously, the other thing to be considerate of is that the audience may get a good look of what's going on under the dress. So one thing I'd recommend is wearing a nice pair of shorts, so it doesn't matter if you do. But secondly, you can also angle to the side, lift your leg up sideways, get yourself on there, and then just bring your foot up. And keep your legs together this time, so you're kind of leaning your knees on the base, and obviously straight up and down. And then dismounting in a dress is much easier if you do a little jump. Now obviously you need to be careful when you're wearing heels and jumps, but it's definitely a better way to get down off the base because you're not as restricted. So if you're going to do the jump, one hand on the neck, one hand on the front, bring yourself up to your toes, and just do a little tiny hop, supporting your weight on the double base, and dismount. And there you have it. So thanks for watching. Just a reminder, be safe, get supervision from a professional, don't do this at home. Secondly, if you're enjoying the videos, please do have a look at my Patreon. There are exclusive downloads, a community where you can share your progress videos. There's free tickets to gigs, discount vouchers, even all the way up to one-to-one bass lessons, etc, etc. So if you do check it out, it really helps me keep producing these videos for you guys, which I love doing, and I hope you're all learning from them. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe, which are both free, and I will be keeping on uploading free content for you guys as long as possible. So take care, enjoy, and I'll see you again next time.